Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd day of April 2026. So, we have a lot of stuff to go over today, a lot of things that I got accomplished over the last few days. Even though I was on vacation, I still managed to get a bunch of stuff done that I was trying to get finished up in the last meeting. We are there now. So, if you haven't taken a free trial, I always forget to do this, so I'm going to do it right at the beginning this time. If you haven't taken a free trial, go to tv-trades.ai and sign up for the trial here. Just click on that, go down to the bottom. It's $25 a week, $90 a month, or $9.97 a year. I mean, this is the most popular. It really is. That one is pretty close, though. The annual is almost as popular as the monthly. Alright, so let's get into it. The picture that I just had up here, this one, this shows the results from today. The option trades from today, the 0DT options, and the picks from last night for today. Now, a bunch of those were call options this morning, and some were mediocre, some were down a little bit. The one put was this ABBV, was our one put that was up 24% at one point today. The market's waiting on this whole Iran thing here to figure out which way it's going to go. Everybody's kind of sitting on their hands. But the 0DT stuff, the IWM last night, before the close last night at 3:30, it triggered a put purchase, and I showed that last night. That went up 95% today, and then at the open, I had said last night in the option channel, I had said last night to be ready to take profit on that early, and because I figured it was gonna flip to a call by the morning. And it did flip to a call, and then the calls worked out too, the IWM today. So that was a good exchange of direction there anyway. Alright, let's get into all the other stuff. As far as the trading goes, right now I'm just looking at the 39 range NQ, the ES7 range. I'm going to make this the ESN. Okay, oops, ES... I'll choose M, the S7 range. Okay, and if we have any trade setups on here, I will take them right now. One of the things that I had said I was going to do, or tried to do last week, was to set up I know I'm jumping back and forth right here, but I'm going to explain to you what I was doing. And I created a guide for you guys, like basically a manual. It's a PDF, and it's in the options channel. You guys can go and download it from the options channel. You can open it up and read it, but it goes through the settings of the scanner, and the scanner is now available to everyone who is a subscriber. The scanner is, it's inside the regular TV trades, like right in here. If I put that on, and this pops up like this, and all you have to do is flip it to scanner. By default, it is going to go to the 12 and 6 hour split and show you the stuff from list 1A. Now the lists are broken down into groups of 18 symbols as list 1A, list 1B, list 2A, list 2B, list 3A, list 3B, list 4A, list 4B, and then there's a 0DTE list. Alright, that is how the lists are broken down. 1A and 2A are the ones that are more likely to get, you're more likely to get the punch that you're looking for from those symbols. The list 1 and 2. Right, the lists 3 and 4, they're better for trades that are with the trend. The list 1 and 2 can be with or against the trend. And you're looking for the quick result with the list 1 and 2 stuff. Now, you may or may not have noticed that when I've been giving out the option information lately, I have been giving it with a list number in front. This was the stuff that was given out last night. It has a list number in front. Give you an idea of which ones to expect a little more punch out of. Okay, and those are the results the midday today. All right, you see I have the broker delta and then the TVT delta. Now, the TVT delta, the bigger the number, the better, the more likely it is to to give you a good move if it does go in the right direction. Well, just to give you a good move. If it goes in the opposite direction, the more likely it is to give you a good move in the opposite direction too. But it's, the idea is to have the ones going in the right direction. All right. But I broke down the TVT delta in last week's meeting, and it is also sort of broken down in the PDF, which is right here. This is the PDF that is available to you all. It goes through all the all the values in the scanner, what they are, what they represent, and the default values, and basically why they're important. Now, some of them are important for different things. Like, some of them are important to either make the trade show up or not show up, and some of them are important to give you a value in the delta. All right. Should you put it on a 4-chart layout? I will show you. Going to get into that. I wanted to give the markets a chance here to give us a trade, to see if we could pick something out here to trade, but I guess there wasn't really anything here to trade yet. Okay. I know that some of the folks want to see the trading too, but we just don't have, I don't know how much trading we're going to get today. So far, the past 2 weeks, the results that I've had the past 2 weeks, nothing over $1,000. Back to the 14th, I think, or the 7th, back to the 7th. Nothing over $1,000. That is really, really unusual. All right, no days over $1,000 per contract. That is really unusual. So the markets, since the whole Iran thing has happened, a lot of people have been just sitting on their hands and not really doing anything. So I'm going to take what we can, and I want to keep this open here. Now, you see, I just put the scanner up here, and this is list 1A. You see how it says simple right here? What simple means is it's just looking for the divergence between the synthetic divergence and the step line. It's looking for the divergence between it. It's not actually looking for the cross, it's just looking for the divergence. It's a simple look at what the market is doing. All right. Now, the other one, if I flip that to a different list, I guess, if I flip it to maybe list 1B, you see when I do that, it has to see the circle right there. It's actually in whatever it is. Okay, well, it didn't give me any of these sourced ones. Let's look at this 2. If this doesn't do it, there it is, the scored ones. Okay, so the scored ones is the ones that the TVT delta is scored. All right, the ones that are simple, the TVT delta is going to be smaller because they don't satisfy one of the main scoring criteria for the delta. So the simple ones are always going to be lower, but what you're looking for is for the scored ones for the delta, and in that you want the delta to be higher. And in here, if it's scored and you choose down here a minimum delta score, like right here it's scored and the minimum delta score is 60, but if I make the minimum delta score 71, then that one right there will disappear. Okay, just wanted to show you how that worked. So if you're only looking for certain for symbols that meet a certain criteria as far as the delta goes, then that is how that works. Okay, by default it's at 60, and anything 60 or above as far as the delta goes is good. It meets a lot of the criteria that we're looking for in a trade. What you really want to get, and this is what I look for, is for both. Is there an upfront cost in addition to the monthly costs? Can you just buy any delta that you want? You can. The delta doesn't stop you from purchasing anything. You can buy whatever delta you want, but I'm just telling you, the delta from the broker, you want it to be 50 or above, and the TVT delta, if it's scored, if it says scored or it says both, you want it to be 60 or above. Okay. All right. Bart, all of this is, when you say an upfront cost, I'm not sure what you mean by that. In addition to the monthly costs, for what you're getting here, all this stuff is all part of the TV trades. It's all part of the same fee. Okay, there's no additional fee for all this. Okay. Alright, so what I wanted to, let me get rid of that. I wanted to just show you, to put it on. That's all you have to do is just throw it on there. I'll do it again for you so you can see. I'll just take it off. It is part of the actual TV trades. You guys would probably have to remove your TV trades and reinstall it, or refresh your chart. Click on this thing right here and refresh your charts like that, and that will refresh all the all the indicators that were on there. And when you go to indicators like this, if you go to TV trades and you look at this, click on read more, this is what it should look like right here. If it doesn't look like that, then you don't have the latest version loaded. Alright, you just have to refresh and get the latest version. Okay, so I'll show you that again. If you go to indicators and you go to your TV trades and you click on that, it should look like this. Alright, if it's not that, it's going to be like a big pink and blue thing instead. Alright, if you have that there, then you have the right version. Okay, you might have this little purple thing like this that you would use to just hit refresh and refresh all your charts. Okay. Alright, so we have a gray arrow here and we have a gray arrow here. Those suggest that the next arrow is going to be a black arrow pointing down. Okay. Now, in both cases, the mid-bands are red still, but I think when it does actually close this bar, they're going to change color. I'm really going to trade the synthetic divergence trades on this. Okay, that's the ones that I'm really looking for, synthetic divergence trades. Alright, so I've said all that, and so far we don't have any trades. But let's go here. I want to show you these groups. Alright, now these groups, you all have access to this. You can all go to these groups. If you are a subscriber, you can go to the groups and just click on it. Just click on the link, and this everybody should get the same thing. If you have the latest version of this, alright, if you have the latest version of this, and just go into the group, everything should show up like this. Now, what you're really looking for in here is for it to say both. Okay, see, it doesn't do it right now, and we'll go to groups 3 and 4, and groups 3 and 4 probably won't have it either. But at 3:30, when the 6-hour chart gives fresh data, here it is. This is what you're looking for. You want it to say both. If it says both, those are the ones that you want to take for sure, without even going to look at it. If it says both, just take those. That's what when I put the information out at the end of the session, at the end of each day, when I put out this stuff, those all say both. Alright, when I do that, and what that means is it satisfies both formulas, and it satisfies one formula on the daily, and it satisfies the other formula on the 6-hour. Okay, you got to pick one, Mark. If the arrow conflicts with synthetic divergence, I would go with synthetic divergence because it's a reversal indicator, and you could actually get both working out of that. Okay, because you could, if you have an arrow, what Mark is asking is if we go back here to this, and you get an arrow pointing in one direction and synthetic divergence going in the other direction. The synthetic divergence is a reversal tool. It's a reversal indicator. So you can take the reversal on that, make profit on that, and then still make profit on the arrow. Okay, I mean, they're both reversals really, but the synthetic divergence is something that happens a little quicker, it seems like. Well, it's immediate. Okay, so when I say I'm looking for synthetic divergence, what I'm looking for is down here. I mean, I can actually come up here, and if we want, we can just take off the swing trade swing trade notice, so it doesn't throw you all off. Okay, so I'm just looking to trade synthetic divergence with the bands. Okay. Yes, thank you, Jessica. Can you put his name in there too, Jessica? So I have his first name. I don't remember what his first name is. Talking about a flooring guy. Anyway, So Mark, I answered that question, right? Alright, so I'm going to hit save on this. Now you all have access to this, right? I'm going to give you all this link right now. If you are a TV Trade subscriber, you can click on that. It'll make a read-only copy of this. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the 0DTE signals. Now I want to show you on this, I reorganized them a little bit so they go lengthwise instead of side by side, because you're never going to have more than 3. Alright, you're going to have either none or up to 3. And see, the only one that's actually with the trend right now is on the 24-hour. The top one is the 24-hour, the middle is the 6-hour, and the bottom is the 2-hour. Now, the 2-hour time frame, because these are 0DTE, the 24-hour only triggers at 9:30 in the morning. Okay, so at 9:30 in the morning, if you have something on the 24-hour like we did today, you want to take that. The 6-hour triggers at 9:30 in the morning and 3:30 in the afternoon. So if you have something on the 6-hour at 9:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the afternoon, you want to take that. The 2-hour triggers at 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, and 3:30. Okay. Now you can't do a 0DTE at 3:30 in the afternoon for the current day. You got to do it for the next day. Same thing with the 6-hour. You can't do a 0DTE at 3:30 in the afternoon for the current day. You got to do it for the next day. All right. So it's a 1 DTE at that point. The 2-hour, the triggers at 11:30. And this is important that you think about this. The triggers at 11:30 is usually after all the news is out and after all the I don't know, the volatility that's pushed around by the news. It's usually out of the market, and so the things that come out at 11:30, and whether it's a 0DTE or if it's a regular stock, using the 2-hour at 11:30, those trades or those symbols, whatever it is, whatever stock it is, or ETF or whatever it is, they tend to move in the direction of the signal. It was very accurate. It moves really well. Now, again, they're not going to be 0DTE because you only have a couple hours left in the day. But I just wanted to point that out. Alright, so we have a 24-hour, a 6-hour, and a 2-hour. And I have them stretched out this way instead of side by side because it's never going to be more than 3 symbols on the 0DTE signals. Okay? So you have the webinar, which is this one. I already gave you a link for that. You have the 0DTE signals. I'll give you that link too. This is a shared one. If you do not have TV trades, if you're not a TV Trade subscriber, if you're not a TV Trade subscriber, then that's not going to be very useful to you. With the bands, so you want the trade reversal to be in the direction of the market. It's a reversal, so it's not necessarily going to be in the direction of the market. It depends how quickly it reverses. Half of them might be Mark. Okay. But they're usually 1-bar trades. You know, depends how big the bar size is. You know, if you have a larger range bar, like if you have the 39 range on the NQ, for instance, you know, and you get in and you could take 25, 30 ticks in a 39 range bar, and that's a nice gain. And a lot of times they're going to go right back and forth. The synthetic divergence trades are. And there was one period today where we had 3 in a row, just back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Okay, so that's the 0DTE signals. Now, the groups 1 and 2, you guys all have access to this. Everybody who is a subscriber has access to this. So when it loads, this is what it is. I'll give you this right here. Okay, I'll give you all this link as well. This is going to be a copy. You'll be able to load a copy of that. Alright. If you're not a TV Trade subscriber, you won't be able to load a copy. It's not going to be very useful to you. But you can see, it gives you all the information. It tells you the ones that are with the trend have color all the way across. The ones that are not with the trend don't have color across. It's pretty simple, right? And when you want to go and pick at the end of the session at 3:30, there will be a lot more information. At 3:30, when the 6-hour candle closes, at 3:30, and the 12-hour candle, the new 12-hour. I mean, that's at 9:30 in the morning. When the 6-hour candle closes at 3:30, a lot of these are going to say both, and those are the ones that you want to go and pick out. All right, we'll go check out all the ones that say both. But this is group 3 and 4. All right, so I've now given you 4 different layouts. Four different layouts. Try that one there. Groups 1 and 2 should be fine, Wayne. When you're in groups 1 and 2, if you go back here to groups 1 and 2, and you look at if you do the 3 dots like this, and you go to source code, or about this script, go to about this script. It should look like this. If it doesn't look like that, then that's your problem. Right, but it's the same exact stuff that's on the other one. It's just a different list. Right, Wayne? Alright, so let's go back to the webinar one, and we'll see if we have any trades. This is a trade right here. I missed it, I believe, but it was an ES trade right here at the open of this bar, right here. That was a Synthetic Divergence long trade at the open of this bar at 56.75, and it's already gone up to 57.25. Now 57.50. I mean, I could still get in it if it came back down without hitting the 57.75 level. Okay, I'll put the order on right here. Okay, there, I just got in it at 57. Okay, so what we anticipate is that this bar is going to close up at the top, and this will move up, get into the overbought, and that's it. So we just let it sit. This is not a trade here because it did not pass through the step line on the way down, so this is not a long trade here. Okay. All right. And 0 DTE works. Just groups 1 and 2. I'm bothering you, Wayne. Is anybody else having trouble with groups 1 and 2 only? Okay, Wayne says it works now. Okay. Alright, good. It should work for all of you. All the stuff that I showed you last week, I know it was really confusing because I had half of the stuff was available to you and half of it wasn't, and I was showing you what would be available to you, and I know that frustrated me. Stopped out on that, yes. And I know that frustrated some people because why would I show you anything that you don't have access to? Sorry, but I just wanted to give you an idea of everything that I was working on, so you could have something to look forward to for this week. And that's for the options, guys. You know, for the futures, guys, well, we have the same stuff that has been working really well. I mean, so far we have that one stop out, but the same stuff that has been working well the whole time, and we're just going to continue working with that. I do have the automated stuff that I had kind of put aside because I had so many other things going on, but I'm going to continue working on that. I'll get back on track on that. I had kind of pushed that aside for a little while. Yeah, I'll put 1 and 2 back up here right now. I'll just go out here and make a new 1 and 2. Okay, so I have to keep jumping around like this. Go to super charts, and I'll just go to 1 and 2 like this. Okay, and we can keep this open, so if we have another trade in here, we'll be able to take it. Alright. Let's come back here. There you go, Wayne. You should be looking just like that. Okay, so what we're looking at here, if you look in here, is, oops, go to inputs. We are looking at the 24-hour, the 6-hour with either chosen. Alright, you can choose both, and if it only shows both, it's only going to show the ones that have both. So in this case here, it wouldn't show anything. And list 1A, that's this one. This is list 1B. This is list 2A, this is list 2B. Right, if you go through them all. This 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B, and then the 0 to TE list. So yours should be looking just like this right now. And again, in half an hour at 3:30, these are all going to change. Okay. If you look inside here, right here is a simple scanner and the scored scanner. The scored scanner runs on a 6-hour, and the simple scanner runs on a 24-hour. On the 0DTE page, I'll go back and show you that in a second here. Okay, on the 0DTE page, or layout, those numbers are the same for each time frame. Right, if you look inside this scanner right here, this is the 24-hour, this is a 24-hour chart, and it is a 24-hour scanner. Both of them are on 24 hours. Right, so you're going to see time frame is 24 hours on everything up here. Okay. Now again, this stuff, this is important at 9:30. The 24-hour is important at 9:30. The 6-hour at 9:30 and 3:30, and the 2-hour at 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, and 3:30. The most important one the most significant one on the 2-hour that I found is the 11:30. Again, if you have time, can I show real quick how you add this to yours? It's, yeah, Jeff. Hang on. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So all you have to do is go to indicators, add TV trades. Click on that one time. It comes up like this. Click on that. Choose scanner. And that's going to give you list 1A. Alright, the results of list 1A when it's done loading right here. If I minimize that, that's the results of list 1A right there. Okay. So then you would go in and just look at whatever one you want to look at. But you don't really have to do that because I gave you the layouts, so I've already done all that for you. Okay, I've already done all that stuff for you. Now, I put a trade on a minute ago. I think I did anyway. Okay, yeah, I did add an ES trade on, and it gave me a break even. Alright, I'll show you that. I thought I put a trade on. I got distracted and didn't show you the trade. Here is what it was. It was an ES short right there, and it gave me a break even. My stop goes to break even automatically after 4 ticks in profit on the ES7 range. Okay, so it was, I think it was this short right here. My stop went to break even automatically after 4 ticks in profit. And if I'd have been paying attention, I'd have locked in some profit on that. But alas, I was not paying attention. Alright. How do you get list 1A and 1B on the same page? Just go to the layout. Alright. The way that I have it, in here, you choose this, and you can go like that, and then on each box, choose a different list. Okay. That's all you have to do. Right, you don't need it at all. Wayne, if you have everything that I just gave you, all the layouts that I just gave you are working and they're functional, then you don't really need to know how to do anything else. You just need to know how to read what's in front of you. And that's what I was just trying to explain. And that is also in that PDF. That PDF that I showed you a few minutes ago, and that is out in the TV Trades Options channel. Okay. So, Mark, to get them on the same page, let me show you. Hang on. to get them on the same page, you need to just go to something like this, okay, and go to supercharts, and let's just create a new layout, okay, create a new layout. We'll call test 1 create. The ES actually has a trade in here, but in this layout you can just go like this, put it on here like this, or just do TV trades like that, okay, and it's going to put the scanner on for you, and then change it to scanner, and that's going to give you list 1, right? List 1A. Once it loads up, that's list 1A. If you click on this right now, click on this and you go to 4 like this, it's going to give you list 1A in every one of these. Okay, so now you can go individually to each one and make this list 1B, list 1B on that one, and make this list 2A, 2A on that one, and this one make it list 2B. Alright, then you have all your stuff on there. And you can actually, if you don't want to have those lines on there, just go to the 3 dots and hit hide. Right, go to the 3 dots on the symbol itself and hit hide, and it'll get rid of all that for you. On the symbol itself, hide it. So then you only have the scanner on there. Okay, that is how you do it. Okay, Mark. All right. Steven's not in here. All right. Well, that's okay. He doesn't have to be. Mark S. I owe you a phone call. Alright. The NQ has a synthetic divergence short right here. I just took and it just gave me 10 ticks. Sorry. It was at the open right there, was the short. The ES also had a synthetic divergence short right here that's already gone into profit. Okay. But I'll show you the NQ one if I can get it over here. I believe I got 10 ticks. I did. Okay, I'll show you that one in just a second here. Here that one is. That was the NQ. 10 ticks right there. Okay. It does not have another trade right now, but so far I have one NQ for plus 10 and one ES for minus 10. And one more break. I'm sorry, one more ES. That was a break even. Okay. All right. More questions? Daryl M. Let me show you. Let me try to show you anyway. Here, let me see if I can do it with something that I'm not using. Let's see. Okay. So you go to File, and you do Open Trading DOM. Okay. And that's going to bring this thing up, like this. Oh man, I just lost it. Hang on. Where'd that go? Do it again. There it is. You go to File, Open Trading DOM, and then come in here under CME. You got to find the NQ100. This is the NQ100 right here. It's the FUSENQ. Choose the June contract, and say open trading DOM. That's what you do. Alright, open the trading DOM, and that will open up your DOM for you. Okay. What do you mean send them to you, Bart? Me send you a link to watch them all? I can tell you where to go to watch them all. Okay, I'll show you where to go to watch them all in just a sec. On the options, is it better to put on either or both? Well, if you're only going to trade both, then you can leave both on and don't be distracted by either. If you don't have any choices when you have both on, the question is this. Let's go back here. I'm not there. Let's go here. Now you see right here, they all say simple or they all say scored. Nothing says both. If you had it set to both, they would all look like this. You wouldn't have anything. Okay? If they all said both, that's what it would look like. But now if we go to groups, I think that was, yeah, that's groups 1 and 2. So we go to groups 3 and 4. This has a both on it right here. In the 6 hour, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it has a both on it right there. Now, if I go down here and I change that, this is the difference, Wayne, okay? The question was right here. Should leave it on either or put it on both? I had it on both by default before, but oftentimes you ended up, when this finishes calculating here, you're going to see it's going to have nothing here. And oftentimes it came up with nothing, and then I was getting phone call after phone call or message after message saying it's not working. It is working, you just don't have any that qualify. Okay, so I put that on either. You'll see everything that's scored or simple, but not both. This one is set to either as well, I think. Yeah, it's set to either as well, but it doesn't have any that are either. It only has one that is both. Alright, the 24 hour and the 6 hour are both there. Now, in 20 minutes when we get to the bottom of the hour, you're going to see this is going to populate with a lot more information. There'll be more of them that are both. Okay. Alright, so Bart, if you go here to tv-trades.ai, go to tvtrades.ai, and right here in the middle of the page, there's this thing. Right underneath that, tv-trades.ai, Bart. Okay, right beneath that it says view full playlist on YouTube. If you click on that, it'll bring up the full playlist of all the videos that I made. Okay, all the ones that I made that I put on YouTube. Most of the ones that I make, they go out on YouTube because I need to do that to be able to put it on the different web pages. And to keep the size small and give you a link that you guys can all use. These hours and minutes. So if you want something quick, you just want a quick snapshot, look at the ones that are just a few minutes. Alright, the ones that are just a few minutes, there's usually a lesson like how to trade the 0DT options. That's only 15 minutes. That's probably just showing you some trades that I took. But this one, a closer look at the new TV trades option setup, that's 7 minutes. If you look at those, then you can get a look at them without having to go through the whole hour and a half on the Wednesday sessions. The ones that are longer than an hour, those are all the Wednesday sessions, alright? Like this session here will be at the top of the list at the end of today. I haven't put any out here since last week because I was on vacation. But this one will be at the top of the list. Okay. And Daryl, I just showed you how to do that one thing that you had asked me about a second ago. So that'll be in this recording as well. Okay, you'll have to go back and check on that. Alright, I don't know what time it was that I did it exactly. It was about 3 o'clock. Something like that, right around 3 o'clock I showed you how to get in there and do that. Okay, if you go back and watch the video. And just look for that part in the video anyway. So when it says both and scored, it's not going to say both and scored. It's going to say both or scored. Okay. Both is better. Okay, that means you have two time frames that are basically saying you got a reversal at the same time. that's when you're looking at these guys, both is better. Okay, those are the ones that I give to you guys. The ones that say both, those are the ones that I put out in the at the end of the session at 3:30 when I start giving you guys the things. I mean, we're going to do it here in 17 minutes. We're going to go through the whole process that I go through. Okay, because I'm sure there's going to be some of these in here that say both, and if there's not some that say both, well, then I'll have to go through and pick out the ones, maybe the simple ones, go look at the simple ones and see which ones have the actual cross. Because if it says both, I don't care if the simple has the cross. It's got divergence, and that's good enough. But if it doesn't say both, well, then you got to look at things like the TVT delta, the really the TVT delta is a good indication of which ones you should look at. Okay. But let's get back here to trade some if we can. Because right now we're minus 10 on the ES and plus 10 on the NQ, so we're negative altogether right now. Now the majority of the trades come in about a half an hour from now. At about quarter to 4 is when we usually have the majority of the trades. And the markets have been really, really slow these last couple of weeks. It was a good time to actually not be trading when I was away. And I'm going to be away next week too, guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to do next week's webinar on Tuesday or Thursday, but I'm not going to be doing it on Wednesday next week. Okay, it'll either be Tuesday or Thursday next week, but it won't be on Wednesday. I'm not sure which day it's going to be yet. I know I have to go to Raleigh for 2 days next week, and it's either going to be Tuesday and Wednesday or Wednesday and Thursday. Just so you all know. Let me just look through the list. Jessica, can you give me the Florin guy's first name? You're in here now. You weren't in there earlier when I asked. I got his last name right, but I can't remember his first name. I can guess. I'll probably get it right if I guess. But yeah, I gotta give him a call. Alright, so we're waiting for a trade opportunity here. We don't have one yet. So if we were to go through the lists right now, and if we didn't have anything that said both, the scored ones, the ones with the higher delta that say scored, are the better scored ones. The simple ones, you have to actually go and look at the symbol and see if you have the cross. So we'd have to go to the symbol PM, and if we did that here, for instance, we went to PM, and we looked on a daily chart, because that's what you'd be looking on. Look on a daily chart, and you see if you have the cross, and we do actually have the cross right there. So that would be one that you would take. Okay. Now, you can do that if you want, or you can go with the scored with a good delta. So the scored for RF, let me show you what that looks like. The scored for RF. So RF is going to be on a 6 hour. All right, it's going to be on a 6 hour. And you're not looking for this, because that's not going to match up. It's a different formula. What you're looking for in this one is, get rid of that and add that. This is what you're looking for. Divergence like this. That right there. Okay. You want that to be going up while that is going down into and out of the oversold in this case. So that would give you a long indication right now. It would be a call is what you'd be expecting to have happen here when the bar closes. That's what you'd be looking for. Okay, so the TVT delta on this is going to be pretty high. The way this is coming together, this is a good delta. Everything is good on this. The trend is good. Everything is good on this. So the TVT delta should be high on that. And that's this guy right here. The TVT delta is 81.1. Okay. Now, if it says both, you just take it, Wayne. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't say both, then you have to make a choice, whether you want to go with the scored ones or you want to go with the simple ones. But usually at 3:30, there's going to be enough options with the both that you can do it. Alright, you can do it without looking at the other individual things. Okay? So go back in here. We just about have a trade there on that guy. But this is a 7 range ES now. Okay, it's a 7 range ES. And just about have a trade going in there. Let me shrink it up a little bit for you. There. So it was the open of this bar right here is where the trade would have been. Right there, the open of that bar. And this one here now would be the open of that one. You would be selling the ES. Now it's got a number up at 61.25. That one does. This has got nothing here on the 39 range. You don't have anything over there. Okay. What range am I using on the Russell? On the Russell, I'm using a 19 range on the Russell when I'm trading that in the morning, Kenneth. A 19 range. My bracket on the 19 range is a 25 by 45, I think is what I'm using on that. Let me go just get that out. I had put them down. Here's my Russell Dom. Okay, and my bracket is a 25 by 45 bracket. Yep. On the 19 range. Okay. So when I'm trading, when I'm trading in the morning, it'd be, well, I'm using the morning stuff, but this would be a 19 range. 19R. And it'd be RTY. That's what I'm using. So today on the Russell, I think we ended up just barely positive this morning. Yeah, we did. We did well on the NQ this morning, but the Russell, we just barely got positive. Alright. Well, I have a chance to actually slow down and take a drink. So I don't feel like I'm throwing a ton of information at you guys this time. I'm giving you information, but it's all solid stuff that you can go and look at right now on your own desktop. You all have access to the same things that I'm showing you right now. I'm not showing you something that's going to be coming out next week or anything like that. This is all stuff that you have. And let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Take the latest version of that. That should make a difference. Okay. I'm not really using the blue arrows, so I'm just going to shut off those guys. Okay, if I was using the blue arrows, we would have had some pretty nice trades in there. Maybe we'll leave the blue arrows on. Just shut off the actual. I'll leave the blue arrows on. Okay. Those can be helpful, leading up to the blue arrows. Here, I'll save this, so you'll have the same thing I'm doing right now if you want. And it's 3:22, so in a few minutes here, these are going to change, and then we'll put together the options trades for tomorrow. Okay? That's probably what is the case right now, when you might have one that comes up in groups 3 and 4, I think, in group 3A. Okay. Wayne says, so now using both on all 4 groups, nothing comes up. That is because it's just going to filter it all out for you. Okay. both kind of have a trade right here. That just barely hit the blue, but if I stretch it out, you can just barely see a little bit of touch right there on that. And this one did definitely hit the blue on the ES. So I'm in both. I just took both of those. Here's the ES, and here's the NQ. Okay, put that window on top, and put this window is already on top. Shrink that down. Shrink that down. Now the ES stop just went to break even. It should make it up here to 63. Hopefully, nope, it took me out first. Okay. Another break even on the ES. Now the NQ should make it up here to 10, and then it should make it up here to 13. But it's got to go up to 7 to get my stop to go to plus 10. Right? It's got to go plus 4 points before it bumps my stop to plus 10. Okay, now the majority of the trades don't usually trigger until like the last 15 minutes, so whatever we get in here is just a little bit of a bonus. Alright, wow, I just had a deja vu. I had a deja vu of a deja vu. That was weird. So we're waiting right now for that, and it's 3:24. So another 6 minutes, and all the 6-hour candles will close. So that should bring up a whole bunch of new option opportunities for us for tomorrow. Okay, just about there. 27,050 is what I think it really wants to get to right here. Now 56.75 is the prior swing high, so either one of those will work, but it should go right now. There, we're at plus 10, and there's 50. We're at 43. We're going to go all the way up to 50. That's where I thought it was going to go to. Alright, so that was 7 points, or 28 takes on the NQ. Alright, I am keeping track of this. I'm just not keeping track of it on the spreadsheet right now. Now, oddly, what we have here okay. So we didn't make it up into the overbought there, so it's not down and then up. The reason I took that is because we crossed through the midpoint on the way down. The reason I took this is because we crossed through the step line on the way out. And we crossed through the step line on the way out. Okay. That's why I took the long trade in here. That gave me a break even. I took the long trade in here. That gave me 28 ticks. Okay. And now it did actually cross through this again on the way back out. So you could short the ES right here if you wanted to, back down to the mid band, and it should probably make it down to the mid band. This is the question that you had asked earlier, Mark. About staying with the trend. So right now, I mean, that's not the type of trades that I like best. It's going to cross the step line when the step line is at or below the middle of this area. That is how I'd like to take the trades. Those are the ones I like to trade the most. I mean, you can take this one. You could have taken that one. It's right here. But the ones that I like the most are when it crosses it like this did right here, or like this one here did. Alright. This didn't actually cross it right here. So that was one more tick right there on the ES. Sorry. And so now we'll just wait here and here, and we'll see what happens. And it's 3:27. So if you look at this right now, and then we look at it in 2 minutes, you're going to see these things populate with a lot of different things. See right now, some of it right now, because if you were to watch this chart right now, the PM chart right now, it's going up and down and up and down. And you can see how it's sort of populating things as it moves up and down. But it's not going to do it all until the bar closes. So we'll see things change here and on the 1 and 2 hour. Okay, this is the 0 DT signals. That's not really going to change that much, I don't think. But the groups 1 and 2, you should see a change there too in a minute. Okay, that's the 0 DTE, groups 1 and 2, and groups 3 and 4. Come back in here. Not a trade, not a trade, not a trade. Alright, so this is pretty simple, right? You guys see all this, and it's pretty simple stuff. I'm not so much, well, this too, but the option stuff. So now all you have to do when it says both is write it down. Go and check it. Make sure the delta is right. Get the symbol, get the direction, get the price, get the trade on. That is correct. I have it on either, on all of them right now, Wayne. This didn't hit it on the way out. This didn't make it out. So neither one are giving us a trade right now. As I said, the trades, they usually trigger more in the last 15 minutes. Alright. So I know some of you guys, this morning I want to just point something out. This. Now, last night, this was the call option last night at 3:30 yesterday afternoon. This was the call option. I said to take that and be ready for it in the morning, to take profit in the morning, because overnight things will likely reverse, and it did give you up to 90%. I think it might have even gone better than that this morning. And then it did reverse, and it gave you a put, and you can see the put gave you 90% as well. And I don't know where that stands right now, the 278 put and the 274 call. But both of them were good opportunities for you. And here it is, 3:30. Okay, so let's go take a look over here. That's the 0 DT. I didn't hear. This is what I was talking about. You see how all these things just filled? So now if you just go through here and look at the things that say both, that is lists 1 and 2. If you look at lists 3 and 4, just take out the ones that say both. There's not a ton of them, but let's just look at the ones that say both. Alright, we'll start out with lists 1 and 2. And now this is both, but it's not with the trend. So you have Apple against the trend, you have Google against the trend, and let me see if there's any other ones down here. Nope. You have Apple and Google against the trend. You have Google, as I said right there, still against the trend. And you have FCX against the trend. So the first one you have is KMI with the trend, right? KMI, and that's a put. And the TVT delta on that is 71. Alright, that's KMI, that's a put. The next one over there is LLY. That's also a put. And the TVT delta on that is 78. Right? And that's all you have that's actually with the trend in groups 1 and 2. So let's just go with those for right now and go to, hang on. Let's go over here to groups 3 and 4. And you have CVS, and that's a call. And 68.4 is the TVT delta. And you have PM, that's a put, and 80.4 is a TVT delta. And that's it. So we only have 4 of them that actually have both that are with the trend. Okay, so we'll start with those 4, both with the trend. But let's go back and look at the other ones that are not with the trend. Okay. Go back here, groups 1 and 2. Didn't I have that just open here a second ago? Yeah, here it is. Groups 1 and 2. Now, Apple is a put. It's got both, but it's against the trend. And that's 75.8. And Google is a put. And that's against the trend at 66.6. And FCX. KMI just pop up. Yeah, KMI was in there before. And FCX is a put. And that has 82.4. And see this one over here is BA, Boeing, is a put, and that has 68.2. Alright, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's enough. We're just going to go with that. Alright. Your SMCI is not red colored, Lane. Your SMCI. Where's SMCI? This one right here. Mine's not red either. Alright, that means one is with the trend and one is not with the trend. They're not both with the trend. Okay. And it doesn't have a both anyway. So I don't know which one you're looking at, but alright. So now what we have to do. Now we have to go out to, I had this thing ready to go, I thought. Alright. It's not that one. Maybe it's on this page. Yeah, this is it right here. Okay. So now first let's go see if we have any trades right now, because I could take another trade if we have one. And that's funny. Trades in opposite directions right now. Alright. Well, now I gotta kind of move those out of the way so I don't get right on top of them. Let's go out and log into this. And we'll see if I can manage to do this all at one time. This is my Play account. It's actually a real account, but it doesn't have any money. The NQ is starting to run. Right, the NQ had a short. And I don't know what I just got on that, but the NQ's got a synthetic divergence arrow long right now. The ES actually had a long in here. So the synthetic divergence arrow long. This gave a synthetic divergence short a second ago from right in here that I just took some profit on. And it's got a synthetic divergence arrow long right now. That's looking at something a little bit different than what it was a second ago, but let me slow down. I gotta go check out these options for tomorrow. Let's bring this over. Alright. I know this is the part that's going to get really confusing to you guys. Probably. I have two trades going on right now. I'm long on two trades. I'm long on the ES and I'm long on the NQ. Here's the ES. Here's the NQ. The NQ just went to plus 10. That's plus 12 there. And go to plus 4 on the ES. Alright, we're out with 12 on the NQ. And I don't know what I got on the trade before that one, so I'll have to go check that. And right now we have 4 on the S. The S should make a nice run up here to 65. Okay, go to 6 on the S. Now the ES was this right here. Right, so we've got 6 on the ES, 12 on the second NQ, but on the NQ before that, that was 12 on that one. Before that, I sold to 46 and I bought back at 41.50. So that'd be 18. So it was 2 NQ trades for a total of 30 ticks and 6 on the ES. Okay. I am keeping track of all this. This was the synthetic divergence indication down here short that I took, and then the arrow long that I took, and over here it was this synthetic divergence long that I took right here on the ES. Alright, let me stop trading for a minute and go and do the option stuff, right? Because we want to get this stuff nailed down. So I'll start out with KMI, Kinder Morgan, and that was a put. And what Friday's expiration, it says 31.5. We'll come in here and see what the delta is. The delta is that, so we're going to make it 32. So it's going to be a 32 put. And the last on that, the delta is, let's say 50, and the last is 0.44. Okay. So now LLY, Eli Lilly, that is also a put, and the, let's go to 2250, there we go, 922.50, and the delta on that one is, we'll say 52, and the last is 1620. You probably not, you know what, I'm just going to skip the Lilly one. Right, I'm just going to skip that because it's only got 2 in volume and it's really expensive. So I'll just skip that one. Alright, we'll go to CVS. CVS, that is also a put. Show full quote. Oh, I'm sorry, CVS was a call. CVS was a call. And do show full quote. And that's got plenty of volume. That's it. Oops, show full quote. Alright, so on CVS, we'll say the delta is 59, the last is 70, and it's a 76 call. And PM, we looked at that one earlier, Philip Morris. That one is a put. You see what I'm looking at here, right? And you go to show full quote, and look at the delta. If the delta is below 50, multiply it times 100, and if it's below 50, then you just got to change it and get it above 50. There we go. So 167.50 put, and the delta on that, that's 78. That might be too high. Hang on. Did it not change? Okay, it didn't change. Let's do 165. 165 put. And the delta on that is, we'll say 59. And the last is 285. Okay, and those are all the ones that are with the trend. So there were 3 of them that were with the trend. And now look at the ones that were not with the trend for both. Alright. One of them was with the trend and one was against the trend. So Apple, that's a put. You guys follow me with this? Apple is a put, so you go to show full quote. The delta is only 27, so you're not going to take that one. You're going to go to 275, 272.50. Well, I guess we got to go to 275. All right. Well, anyway, it's a 275 put. 75 put, and the delta on that is 96. Wow. It's actually just about 97. We'll round it up to 97. 97, and the last on that is only $2. So I kind of like that one. Remember that delta works for you as well as against you. Let's look at This one, okay, the 335 is not going to work. 337.50, okay. So Google, you're looking at a 337.50 put. And the delta on that one is, we'll say, 51, and the last on that one is 335. Okay, 2 more to go. FCX. And that one is a put. So we only have one call. CVS is the only call. All these other ones are puts. So you show full quote. And that is below 50. So we're going to go to the next one. 57. We'll call it 58. And that is a 70. Wait a minute. This is a 424. And the Google one, we got to go check the Google one too. I think I screwed up the Google one. Nobody caught me on that. Did you miss something, Wayne? Apple is against the trend. Yes, that's what I said, Wayne. Apple, Google, FCX, and BA are not with the trend. Alright, they both have both selected, but they're not with the trend. So hang on, we should be going for the 24th expiration. Okay, the 24th expiration on this one is good. So FCX 71 put. And 58 delta. And 222. I gotta go back and look at Apple and Google. I think I might have the wrong expiration date on both of those. BA. That may be why they're this is 424, and if we look at show full quote, 230 won't work. Go to 232.50, that works. And that has a delta of, we'll say, 59, and a last of 4.7. Okay, I gotta look at Apple and Google again, because I'm not sure I got the expiration date right now. So, Apple was a put. And yeah, I didn't have the expiration date right. It's 424, that's why it was off. Show full quote, that's a 46, so we'll go out to the 275. Apple was a 275 put. 64 is the delta. It's a 275 put with Friday's expiration. Make sure you get Friday's expiration on that. 330. 330. And the delta on that, that's why the delta was off so bad, is 64. And the Google, I think I screwed that one up too. Google, and that's also a put, and that is on Friday. Okay, so 337.50 on that, that should be right. With the show full quote, 51 it was a minute ago. That's all good. Okay. That is all the information. Wait, I'll answer your question in a minute. Let me just go fill all this out. Okay. So the symbols. Let's just start out with the symbols. We have KMI, CVS, PM, Apple, Google, FCX, BA. Alright, those are the symbols. The option, this is a 32 put. CVS is a 76 call. PM is a 165 put. It looks like. Apple is a 275 put. Remember, Apple and Google, you got to make sure you got Friday's expiration. And Google is a 337.50 put, 337.5 put. FCX is a, it's like a 71 put. Pretty sure that's what that says. And 232.50, 250 put for Boeing. Okay, the last price is 0.44. 70, 2.85, 3.30, 3.35, 2.22, 4.70. Okay, now the delta, there's two deltas. Alright, there's the broker delta, which is a 71, and TVT delta, which is a 51. In CVS, the broker delta was 68.4, and TVT was a 59. The PMP, actually I think I got them backwards. Yeah, I do them backwards. The TVT delta was 80.4, and the broker delta was 59. So I'm just saying the words backwards. 74.8 by 64. 66.6 by 51. 82.4 by 58. And 68.2 by 59. Okay, those are the picks. Now, I am going to take this and make a copy of it and stick it out in the channel, so you all have a copy of it in the channel. Okay, it'll say picks for 423. Alright, those are all out in the channel. Now, here's the deal. Wayne, you kept asking me about why we're picking these things that are not, I'll show you. Let me connect on this again. And we're in the period right now where the trading should get really good, so I'm going to try to put some more trades on in here too, if I can. Crap. I missed that in Q-Trade. Wayne, if it has both and it's not with the trend, it's still likely to give you a good initial reaction. Okay? It's still likely to give you a good initial reaction. So you can go with the ones that have both, even if it's not with the trend. Okay? Travis, am I buying or selling? Buying. Buying, Travis. Buying. I'm not going to get into the strategies for selling options with you guys. That's something you can figure out on your own. I'm not going to advise you on that, because that has unlimited risk, and I'm not going to put you guys in anything that has unlimited risk. Okay. Alright, so I haven't been watching the questions coming in. My eyes have been straight down filling out the form. So the form is filled out for you guys now, so we can take some trades in here. I just missed that really nice NQ trade right there, but hopefully I'll be able to get the next one that comes along. We have time in here to take some more trades. Right now we are -3 on the ES and +68 on the NQ, with 9 trades that I've taken so far. Let me go back and see. Did I answer everybody's questions? See, everything got really slow until 3:30, and then when 3:30 rolled around, I was like, bam, I got a million things I got to do. But that's every day for me now. So I'm actually, hang on, give me just a second here. There's something else that I missed. Crap. Here it is. The 0DT. Do we have anything on these right now? Hit reload on this. The IWM. The 6 hour, you could take these with the 6 hour right here, and they're against the trend. Again, if you did take these, they'd be for the morning. Alright, the QQQ and the SPY puts, both of those would be for the morning. And you can definitely take them. They're valid trades. The 24-hour one, that's going to be at 9:30 in the morning. Alright, it's got the IWM, but it had the IWM all day today. It's got the SPY right now, but These guys right here are the ones that came on at 3:30. Alright, so the QQQ and the SPY puts, those are trades you can take right now. And if I go and check them out, give me just a minute, I'll go check them out. And I'm actually going to take something here too. Okay, give me a sec. Where was that? Here, I'll do it here. No, not on top. Let me slide that one over here. I mean, we're positive right now with the trading, but I'd like to get something else going with it if I can. And let me go and put an option trade on too. Here it is. See, when I do this with you guys at the last minute like this, I end up getting really crappy fills. But it's part of it all, I guess. Alright. QQQ put tomorrow's expiration. Okay, it's a pretty tight spread on that, so that's okay. I'm gonna go with the 656 put. Okay, I'm just gonna make a screenshot of this for right now, and let me move that out of the way and see if I can make a better screenshot of this. I'll put it on, and I'll be able to put this out in a little while for you guys. Okay. Paste. Alright, and DSPY. Put tomorrow's expiration. And that's going to be at 7/12. 7/12 put tomorrow's expiration. Okay, just a second. Bear with me here while I try to do some of this stuff so I can put these trades on too. Okay. Okay. Alright, that part's done. So right now we actually have a synthetic divergence long going right here on the NQ. It just triggered and I just took it. Here it is. Right there. Crossing through on the way out of the the cover, the background blue. Right? That went to plus 10 and 12, and we're out with 12 more on the NQ. Okay, so that was our 10th trade, and that puts us at 80 on the NQ. This didn't make it out of the cover. If we spread this out, you can see it didn't get out of the blue right there. Almost got out of the blue. It didn't quite get out of the blue, so I'm not going to take that. The ES did, however, get out of it. So you could short the ES. The ES is going right into the high of the day right here. You could short the ES right now because it's giving a synthetic divergence short against the longer term trend. If you want to do that, or if you just want to stick with the trend, then mark. If you want to just stick with the trend, then this is where you would do that right now. Do I just talk about the option Telegram link tomorrow morning or just my email? I put it all out in the TV Trades options channel, Travis. Right out in here. I give you all the information out here. Like everything that I'm creating right now, everything that I've done right now, I just posted right here. Now, I didn't post in the QQQ and the SPY yet, but I will post that in. Okay. Well, I will email it to you right now. I'll email you the link that you need to get in there, okay? Travis. Give me just a second. Do it right now before I forget. Now my computer's choking on me. Alright, there. It's in your email now. Alright. So we don't have any other trades right at the moment, right now. Okay, the ES is right below the high of the day, and you got it all. That's good, Wayne. If you got it all, then everybody else should have it all. Again, it's 3:59, so let me just do a quick recap of everything that I went through. Okay, let's fill out the Wednesday total thing. I haven't filled out any of this yet. I started it, but I didn't finish it. On the NQ, we actually had 10 trades in total. On the NQ, we're up 80 ticks, and on the ES, we had... Here's the ES one. This is the ES. We are at -3 on the ES. We had 5 trades on each one. On the ES, we had a -10, then a +1, and a +6, and we had 2 break-evens. On the NQ, we had a +10, a +28, a +30, and a +12. And there's a trade that I missed. I show I have 5 trades on that. But so we're up $3,265 on the session with those 10 trades. We had 10 trades. We didn't have any stop outs today. Okay, so 0 stop outs. And that was our whole session for today. So $362 a contract is lower than what our average is, but given the way the markets have been, I'm happy with getting $362 a contract, or $3,625. That wasn't really a shot at you, Wayne, but it's you're a good measuring. Whatever. You're the norm. We'll call you the norm. Okay. I know. I don't mean Norm from Cheers. So we had 10 trades with 0 stop outs. 100% of our trades were break even or better, and we're up $3,625 in this session with 10 contracts on. Okay, let's get back in here. We'll look at this stuff again. So it actually, the IWM just popped in here too. I'm not going to put that on. But the QQQ and the SPY on the 6 hour, I did just put both of those on. Alright, and I'll put those in the TV Trades channel in a few minutes. This will refresh at 9:30 in the morning. Okay, so at 9:30 in the morning, check this out and see what happens on this one. Remember the 2 hour on the 0 DTE signals. The 2 hour is at 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, and 3:30. Alright, the 11:30 is the one that I find the most significant on the 2 hour. On the 2 hour, you won't be doing that day's DTE. You'll be doing the next day's DTE. But I know some of you guys actually trade stocks based on this. I would say if I was actually going to be trading the equity, I would be doing it on the 2 hour at 11:30. Okay, that's what I'd be looking for. Change from the 2 hour at the 11:30. Now, the scanner, the 6 hour, 9:30, and 3:30 are when those are significant. 9:30 and 3:30. At 3:30, it's for the next day's option, next day's expiration. Alright, at 9:30, it's current day expiration. At 3:30, it's next day expiration. The 24 hour, the one on top, that is current day expiration, and that is significant at 9:30 in the morning. Okay? These guys, you should all have access to all this stuff right now if you are a subscriber to TV Trades. And if you're not, then you need to go here to tv-trades.ai and subscribe. But if you're a subscriber to TV Trades, then groups 1 and 2, groups 3 and 4, the 0DTE, and this webinar thing, this one over here, those are all shared to you. Okay, you have access to all that stuff. So you can go out there and get that at any time. Alright. And I gave everybody in the room, everybody in this meeting today, I gave you all the links to get to these things. Alright, now Wayne, if it says both and it's not highlighted, that means one of them is not with the trend. If it says both and it is highlighted, that means they're both with the trend. Alright, that's the difference. So if it says both, it's good. Both is good anytime. The both that are with the trend are the better ones, because the 24-hour and 6-hour are both with the trend trades. Alright. But if it's both, then they're not both with the trend. One of them's not with the trend. I don't know whether it's the 24-hour or the 6-hour that's against the trend. But they still work out really well, usually. Okay? You're looking for the ones that say both. Those are the ones that you can just jump on those. Alright. That was a lot of information, but hopefully it was much more organized for you guys this time. And this stuff is all together for you now. It's, you can go out to do everything that I just did, everything that I just walked through, all the stuff that I just did to pick the options for tomorrow. I chose the ones that said both. I went and looked at the actual option. I picked the option that gave me a delta between, a delta of 50 or more is what I was looking for. The option that gave me the delta of 50 or more, and that is the one that I went with. Alright, that's how you go through the whole process, and I do it. That's what I do for you guys every day. Well, I try to do for you every day. Okay. Alright. Again, if you haven't taken the trial, go here to tv-trades.ai and sign up for the trial there. I do have the other 0DTE things that I have going. It's TVT options.ai. I have that one that I haven't done anything with, and I also have 0DTE signals.ai. I have that one that I haven't done anything with. This one actually has a live chart. Well, it's a delayed chart, but it's got actual values in it, so you can go and look at that. And you can actually play around with this too. I think you can play around with the chart a little bit. You can do things with it, change things around. Okay. Don't ever do this to me, because I don't know where that goes. So if you have a question, I have no idea where that goes, so don't ever ask a question like that on any of the websites. I don't know where they go. But I just want to point that out to you too. Alright, that is it, guys. With that, I'm going to wrap up the recording here. I've been talking way too long.